sleep with one eye open on some petty shit. My bitch stay crying over petty shit. Graveyard shift on the deli shit. Like the Thanos glove, but on some Freddy shit. Your bitch's pussy tastes like a peppermint. I pimp, I walk like George Jefferson. My lawyer told me we not settling. This a mini snack like the Gremlins. My brother snort coke and he bipolar. Got shot, came out with a chip shoulder. The 750 take off like a roller coaster. I'm dropping these bars like Motorola. Up in VIP, sipping on the white wine. Selling undercover cops white lines. My lawyer like Johnny Cock and Lil Brother. That means we get it popping like a motherfucker. 80 bags gone in a half an hour. Take a shower, getting in, watch it tower. Thinking I'm ghost, and I got the paper. Yeah, niggas do the most, but you clout chase. Violate parole when I spit a verse. And I ain't going back, you gotta get the hearse. On my Ray J shit, nigga, I hit it first. You niggas hustle backwards like you I chose the love of the block over Mary and Godspeed. Because Thoughts love to watch, then talk to the cops. She put them titties on Tinder, that's just part of the plot. I just call it how I see it, green FaceTime dot. Baby, you can hear me coming when the baseline drop. I might pull up in your city on the new time slot. That empty building across the street, that's the new crime spot. Let me find out if that pussy can pop. It's real nigga shit. I had to switch the format, got drugs in the floor mat, pistol through the door crack. Niggas calling me collect, saying get me out of debt, but I never break a sweat, no. The plug got locked up, the block got shot up, the police popped up. Got drugs in the rental with a crack instrumental, and I'm gone to November. I went from bars and sales to bars and sales. I spit bars in bars and bars in jail. I used to spit 16 while running from 12. It used to keep me from distracting myself. I reminisce when my first cop the hack and bought the pack by myself. It took some time to start attracting this wealth. I sold drugs to an undercover cop. He kept the pack to himself. Became the plug that always looked to the left. This real nigga shit. Real niggas never fold. We go to war like goons. I got fiends shooting up off the spoon. My brother hit the mental ward, so they gave him a room. I only smoke rocks, nigga, if they come from the moon. My bitch in the Porsche and your bitch on the broom. I'm at the VIP table looking like I'm the groom. With gold bottles and some models, smuggle crack from Peru. Gucci, Prada, Fendi, Louis, baby, look at my shoes. In the Tesla Model X, eating Indian food with chopsticks. I ain't mean to be rude. I pull it out while I'm driving. She gon' eat it while I'm chewing my food. I didn't choose to be this dude in the crew. This real nigga shit. She say she feel me, but she feeling herself. We can take this to the top. Stop killing yourself. That's when she told me come and get it. I can hit it myself. I wanna hit it to no feeling is left. This real nigga shit. The love of the block for Mary and Dots because Dots love to watch, then talk to the cops. She put the
What up, family? This is Godspeed broadcast. Godspeed family. Welcome to GSN broadcast brought to you by GodspeedName.com, where the universe is the sum total of all knowledge and the balance between all which is known and unknown. And tonight's show is brought to you by GodspeedName.com, with your host, Pomo. And tonight we'll be talking about memory wipe and the ninth stage of initiation, which is the ninth spirit in the tree of life under the Auset files. And it was brought to you, spawned upon the movie called The Giver, and in which it's a guy who he's supposed to be a giver of memories, and he meets another giver of memories, but in this movie he has a gift, and in the gift he's able to be, well, the way they put it, he's all 12 zodiacs. He has the nature, but it was similar to, I don't know if you ever seen, I forgot the name of the movie, but it was, it's called, basically, where they take the memories and they wipe them. Like us. He was. All right, my fault, family. I just had to do a mic check real quick. Things was getting a little out of hand, but like I said, tonight's show is brought to you by GodspeedName.com. And every now and then, this segment is the second part of what we call how to think in hieroglyphs, or to think with the ancient mind frame. It's where we teach you, or attempt to teach the average listener, or just a reflection to the average listener that is thinking hieroglyphs, think with the ancient mind frame. Similar to where we're going with it tonight about memory wiping and how to connect right back to your ancient memories, or unlock these memories in your DNA, which will cause you to live a certain way in the present time. And usually what I'll do is I'll read a little bit out of the book before I start. But I want to give you a briefing on the movie, The Giver. And in it is a special, the guide. It starts off in black and white, which represents the way we see the world, the way the average person sees the world with his memory already wiped and with the information he's been given to him. So it starts off in black and white. And there's a guy in there, I don't recall his name, but he's a guy, and he's as he's going on through the process of initiation or wherever they're trying to find out, similar to Equilibrium, that's the name of the movie. But as he's going on with initiation and trying to find his way in life, in the movie they do your personality archetype, they set you a particular goal or a particular job or something, a task for you to do. But he was able to encompass all tasks. So they gave him a special job, was the giver. Meaning is he had to see another giver where he was a receiver at the time, meaning an initiate, and he had to see another giver, which was a master, who had to give him memory. And in the memories, they told him that his initiation was pain, excruciating pain, supreme pain, meaning is there was things he had to go through in order to receive these memories and gain knowledge and wisdom from them, from the things he encountered, due to the fact that the master giver gave him the memories. And without memories, you have no knowledge. So it's like you have to go through hell to get to heaven, so to speak, as they say. And what wound up happening is that the giver gave him memories, and he had memories, he had experiences that he had never had before. And in this society, what they did was it was the end of the world, or the world as we know it, and it was way in the future. And what had happened was they wiped out everybody's memory and gave them new memories, or gave them memories from there on forth. And in these memories, they encoded new words, gave actual actions, different words, meaning it is death. They didn't say death, they say take, to take, so it's more softer. And they said to speak in a precise language. So one of the guy was witnessing his father kill a baby. And his father was doing it so casually. He took the baby out, pampered, got it ready, put the needle in his head, killed it, put it in the box, wrapped it up real nice, and dumped it down the chute. That represents the mind frame of the Illuminati, so as we want to call it, the elite, these psychopaths. That's kind of like their mind frame. They're numb. And in the movie, it was showing you depicted that due to the receiver having memories from the giver who gave him memories, he remembered that was death. So by him remembering that was death, it caused a certain response in his body, like, oh, that's wrong. And he started to wake up in this black and white world, but he started to see color in this black and white world where everybody else was seeing black and white, which represents the third eye, to be able the ability to see the unseen scene, which is to see in color or HD. And when he was it bothered him how easily his father was able to kill a baby, and his father was a caretaker. That was his life. Like, he's a caretaker, something like a nurse, and it bothered him. But before it did bother him, because he was under this language, he was under this memory wipe, he was under this new way of thinking. But when he got his memory back, which is reconnecting with a hieroglyphic mind, we see a lot of things in the world that we didn't see wrong. Now we see them quite wrong. And just off the language, they said to take. So the take was a little softer. So he would just say, oh, yeah, he's taking the child. In reality, due to him reconnecting with his ancient self, due to him giving his memories from the memory giver, he seen that his daddy was actually murdering the child. So his goal was to get out and beyond the little area that they had encompassed, meaning there's like a hood, like our brothers stay in the hood. There's no actual walls, but it's a mind wall that's there. Due to the nicer it gets, the more you know not to be there. So if he can make it past that, by him being the receiver, which going into the initiation, finna be Auset, which is master of ourself, the giver, is he'll go past a certain point, and all the memories will come back to the people. And in the end, it showed that when he evaluated on this journey, which represents a Godspeed journey or a journey of God, and he had the baby in his hand, which represented baby Jesus, or that he was holding the birth of the Messiah, which was in himself. He made it past, and all the memories shot back, and everything turned from black and white, which means everybody see the world one way, which is a dull way to see it, into color. And everybody start feeling it again. They start feeling. So when somebody, like I'm going to give you an example. I'm kind of floating through this before I start, but I'm going to give you an example. Okay. Back in the day when we was a little bit younger, some of you may know that when somebody had a baby, it was like a young girl had a baby, it was like, wow. You know, it was like, whoa, she's pregnant. Damn, dude, you know. Somebody got killed or a little boy got hurt or some child got hurt or anybody got killed. It was like, whoa. Now, from then to now, somebody get killed, you don't have that same response. You don't have that same emotion. You don't have that same, you know, feeling. So would I say that to say this, that I'm giving you an example of memory wipe. See, back then when you remember, you had a certain response to it. Now, over time, by them wiping your memory and making you numb to the things of the world, meaning it's redirecting your language. So when Lil Wayne say kill, 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 you know, the other one of them cats say kill, 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 or Boosie say kill, kill, kill. By being said so much, the value of the actual enigma or the signal of the energy that comes from that word leaves. So now you kill, it's like killing on a video game. A child played all day killing on video games. There's nothing to him when he killed on the world. See, it's getting the same response. It's almost to him, it's like the person pretty soon when he leaves, going to get up and go back to life. So that's just a quick an example of what I can give you of memory wipe. And I say this to say that I bring it to under the metal net too, since this is an actual segment of the thinking hieroglyphs. It's the ninth spirit, which is Auset. And it's funny we say Auset is because she is the guardian. She had a certain power over the airways. She had the ability to speak certain things and reflections of outside through the airways, meaning to try to put the bits and pieces back together, try to put the scattered 13, some say 14 pieces back together. And what she would do, something like Sophia Stewart, they would slip in real knowledge, real information, real shit for you to see, and hopefully you grasp it and see a reflection in that within yourself. But she knew one thing, that the actors was going to have to be of a Caucasian descent. So it's nothing really hard, but if you could just read between the whitewash and the lines, you'll see yourself, you know. And as I watched the movie, I seen the receiver, the boy with the hole in his hand, which represents the third eye. The hole in his wrist is that the fact that he was black and he was able to see things that other populations couldn't see. He was able to see in color that other races wouldn't see, or other people around him couldn't see. And then once you just switch the color up and put yourself in the or maybe someone else, you know, and put yourself in the flick, you'll see it a little bit clearer, just like the movie Matrix. So I would do this and slip little things in there, and just like Equilibrium, what I'm starting to realize is they're showing us the same thing. She's trying to show us the same thing. Equilibrium, same thing. You take a medication that numbs you, and it avoids emotion, and you walk around, and in the world they say it's perfect, no killing, no murder, but everybody lacks expression. Everybody lacks self. Everybody's a drone. And can we take that and look at today's time? Same thing. We are like drones. We're like giving medication to where we don't feel emotions. Back in the day, a lot of things we used to say to each other as far as problems and things that happen, it used to have a lot of more effect on your mind and your conscience and your psyche than it do now. It's almost like straight up, let me hit that weed though, and shit, any more of that liquor left, and it's just like that. And due to the fact I can understand that being said and played out like that, due to the fact that how the media news broadcast stuff, you know what I'm saying? They be talking about some horrific shit one second, and then they'll go to a bounty commercial. And it's like, God damn, wait a minute, it's like a bipolar situation. You still in it, what the fuck? And they talking about, yeah, get your we're interviewing this little boy. He made bounty profits, and he showed us how to make a whole room smell fresh after 20 brothers just got their head, massacred. It's like, come on now. But that's how they got it. And I said, like I say, it's funny that it ties into that she represents imitation on the Lord side. You know, the fact that what we see is what we imitate, undiscriminately imitate what they give us, meaning there's the things they give us to imitate. So if they wipe our memory, They give us something to imitate. I mean, they take the history and the past, our wisdom, our soul, and just the very fact of who we are. Because like whatever made you who you was 10, 5 up to 30, you still can go back farther to your past life and life before that. That's already a trace in your DNA. Because if it wasn't true, then that means you won't be here. Your link is cut. So I know my grandfather's been here, having sex, recreating me. So back in Egyptian times or way before that, you still got traces in your DNA and your memories. But now memories is almost as if it's been pushed back for imagination. So when you use your imagination, all you're doing is really remembering the things who you are. But the reason it sounds so far-fetched and way out is because it's from a time of not now. But it's the truth. And it's happening and it's real. You see what I'm saying? Anybody follow? Anybody got any questions or concerns, anything they want to say before I proceed? I'm going to go into the book, the Metal Next, and I'm going to break some of this Auset stage down and what this mind wipes, really represents and what it means to us as a people. But anybody got any questions?
Can I add something?
Go ahead, please do. Please do. Who is this, by the way? It sounds like Brian.
This is Brian.
Well, what up, brother? Good to hear, brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about one thing that's like when they were together, they had to touch each other. You see what I'm saying? So he had to hand off frequency to the other person. Remember that? When they sat in the chair?
Yes. When he had to grab his palm in his hands, in his bloodline. Right. They had to touch each other. So he had to have that. Yeah, he had to have the frequency. Well, as far as the touch, what do that represent? What do you go ahead speculate on that? I'm learning.
Well, another part is where they live. Remember, where he lived had kind of a view of seeing all the different spirits of the earth. That all that energy to help him with giving those memories and help him.
So it's like the Baphomet. It's the symbol of the Baphomet. The goat. The goat sit up way high and can sit on the cliff and watch down. And see everything, a keen perspective. But that reminds me of the Baphomet symbol with the two horns.
And it comes into it. And then another thing that he did is, and you kind of just touched on it, is he activated sleep DNA. Even though he gave him the memory, what he did also is he activated his DNA so the full story would come around. So remember how?
And he will become who he always supposed to be in an instant. Yeah. And so that means by them cutting off the memories, that means that he was new. He was a new man all the time. That means we always in imitation, right? Instead of growth, like evolution. Like they cut off by evolution. Because Brian, if you think if we got memory wipe, I'm gonna give you an example. I don't want you to touch bases with me on this. I say memory wipe because we're back in and I know you can probably tell me more of this time in the 60s or 70s or even the 50s. We are as different people from then to now, right? Am I correct on that? But the thing is, what happened to that thin line of graduating from Black Panther, from Black Power, from Fred Hampton to something in 2017 which holds the same essence but more powerful, faster, and quicker? Why, how the hell we get to this? To is Gucci Mane a clone? So I say, would you consider memory wipe somewhere right there, like they wiped memory bringing our traces back to even that time?
Yeah, that's part of it. But the memory wipe can go, when a person is born, but we're not getting into that. But okay. definitely there's a lack of no empathy that you touched on. And let me get into something else while we're on that is the Mandela effect. I mean, that's especially the way we've learned, they changed some of the history. And to just give you an example is that it used to be a book called The Bernstein Bears. It's spelled differently now than from when I was a kid. And that's just to give you a small example of what the Mandela effect is. And what the Mandela effect actually is Mandela, to some people, died in prison. He didn't get out to be president. He actually died in prison.
Okay. And what do that mean? What do that mean to the corresponding brother?
So what they're doing is that they're changing some of that past that you're talking about. They're trying to change that ancestral information to something different.
Okay.
You can't look back at it.
Okay, so in the movie, what you're saying is what they mean when they say precise language. And he said, no, he killed them. He said, no, use precise language. The fact that you see how they switched the language up to where they was actually murdering people, but by using the word take, it made it seem like something different just off the perception.
Yeah, well, it's a lack of empathy. I mean, that's the key word is it's a total lack of empathy, and using the language, as I think we've touched on before, the English language just in itself is such blocking and such stopping language, where they even went further in that movie. They went further in that movie to say only this precise code of words for this.
Okay, so would I relate that to today's media, as in what they will let me come out as far as music? Only these type of words, precise language, like, the shit that they play, that's going to come out. And due to them, we're learning this precise language, meaning is that we become numb to these things in the world. Like we calling up females bitches, we say we'll kill a motherfucker every 5 bars. We don't give a fuck about, care about the next man. And it's this, in that movie, man, it's just so much that they just like they tell it on themselves. Am I right or wrong? I mean, did you see how the lead was, who the sons of God was? You see what I'm saying? Do you see how they actually showed their face in the movie?
Oh yes, indeed.
Casually, and they did it casually, like just very casually. You have to be really woke to people all of that, and I see you did in that movie. You have to be really on your P's and Q's.
Read the book. It's a book. That comes from a book. That movie comes from a book.
I've seen that. So the books will always show more than the TV.
Yeah, it's just a little more in depth. And I actually didn't read the book, but my son did. So my son peeked me to it. He started breaking it down for me how the book was a little different. Because he said the book, like when they're flying at the end, he was telling me that the book they actually go and interact with the people at the end. He said they kind of changed that. But it still gives you the basic reference, to the point of what they're talking about. Like you said, I mean, they're putting it right into your face.
They did. They definitely did.
The thing you said before is trigger words. The way they use trigger words, to make people react to certain things. You touched on that before, and it's just funny when I heard you touch on it before. It was something I was just, because there's, like you were saying with the music. See, they can put trigger words in the music because the music, and see, this is the thing is the music used to stop the trigger words. See, when you're talking about Mozart and you're talking about Bach, they created, the stop and trigger words. People were using certain trigger words to connect with frequency. They couldn't connect with it, and so they used trigger words to counter it. So that's how they use. That's how the Europeans connected with frequencies using these trigger words.
Okay, so they ride the beat, and they get us to ride the beat with these artificial trigger words that's meant for something totally different or meant for another effect in our life. If you wake up in the morning and I'm in love with the cold, and you're wondering, why is you thinking this? Why am I waking up 7 o'clock in the morning and this song is in my head? That's an after effect of it being pounded in your mind. And if you waking up and you singing this, think about how that ideology just took over your mind. I mean, you thinking about it and you ain't even in the time to be thinking about the actual song. And the beat will rise you there. The beat is good. It's always good. It's a neutral thing, but it rides you there wherever the lyrics going to take you. So you get on the beat is the car. The beat is the road. The beat is the train. But where is this train going? So let me read the words. Red line, blue line, east, west, south. Bitch, hoe, slut, I got bread. I'm in love with the cocoa. You see what I'm saying? So in your ether, in your reality, it become a train ride to hell, and you don't even know it. Why do you think they play this? Why do you think they're feminizing the brother? This is mind white. We are actually, brothers never really dressed the way they dressed. They always kept a little hair on their face. They never looked too feminine, but they kept themselves together. Now it's a thing of memory white. When they wipe that out of our mind and instilled the Kanye West Act, the new thing going with the hazel eyes, now brothers are actually, these are not the same brothers. I can't see how we got from where we was just 10 years ago to now. Memory white. How the hell did this happen? So, Brian, you want to add on anything else before I go into the book?
Oh yeah, I mean, your generation and my generation. I mean, people don't dress up. I mean, there was a huge campaign, and Michael Jordan helped it to actually dress down. Look at pictures. Look at young pictures of young brothers in the 50s and 60s, even going to the 40s. When people went out, they always wore coats or suits.
Presentable, right? Presentable. But how did we lose that time? My connection from your generation is supposed to be my rim. Your rim is your mastery or your realm to spill down to the remnants of my reality. But it's not that. It's barely the fathers can relate to the daddies, and they're in the same household. That's what I mean. Memory wipe. They have killed that connection, that DNA connection. They have gave us a whole nother reality than y'all. And y'all would spit y'all reality knowledge to us, but it's not compatible to this new time reality of what we're dealing with now. Am I making any sense?
Oh, indeed. I look at, I mean, it's like going with the trigger words and the mind wipe. I mean, if you look at the trigger words of the Manchurian Candidate, you know, where they can play these games, look at these phones, and all of a sudden some cat gets this information. But think about it, all along they're feeding to go out and buy guns, to go out and get this ammunition. You know what I'm saying? So it's a slow process. But they can slowly give you those some little clues, so one day they turn you on.
Mind white, slow process, very subtle, very subtle.
Why do you think they go get these cats? They don't have these cats being shootouts because they want to be the first one to be right there. The people that go get them is part of all this. You know, they go get this cat, and they don't want nobody else to deal with them. They want certain people to go collect. And what they say? The men in black. They say the men in black. You know.
There we go. Code words, black, the men in black. Code words again. And Auset, it represents, I'm going to go into the book a little bit. This is the Auset stage of initiation, laying the foundation for spiritual development. Every personality is made up of a set of abilities and limitations. We must ask questions. Who said that an individual must identify with the complex of habitual, automatic, mental, and emotional responses associated with his being? Over the ages, people have discovered over and over again that the identification with the part of our being that is the embodiment of knowledge and ability to run all subconscious vegetative functions responsible for the operation of our physical, mental, and emotional body has enabled people to transcend the limitations of their persona, meaning the ego, as well as the manifestation abilities not shared by the majority of people, which is the stuff we're talking about now. It must be clear that God dwells in our spirit, and only God can accomplish the great peace that we must manifest if we are to put the world in order. Now, what they're saying is that the ego, the archetype, the thing that they give us, if you wipe our memories, cut off our past, we can never learn from the past. It's like a flower trying to grow with no root, a tree that's not deep in the earth. All I have to do is, it looks strong, it looks big, and all that, but I know it's no root, so I know it to push it over. It can fall over. And so it's like always starting with no roots. It's just artificial future. It's an artificial future. And due to the fact, what they're saying here is that when we're born, we're given things to imitate, side by side with the DNA or our history or our memories that we had passed down from generation to generation. But as we get older, one succeeds and one precedes. And what they do is actually feed us enough information, frequency waves, everything they could possibly can to succeed one, which is actually our memories, and proceed the other, which is the new information, which is giving us things to imitate or emulate. And by us being asleep or unaware or no history, meaning it's memory, a book to read from or a person, an old sage from the land that's giving us that time, we lost. We always knew. And then we always knew, we always learned. And then we always learned it. We never learned from mistakes. So if we never learned from mistakes, we don't have wisdom. So it's like always bumping into the wall. It's like a child that never learned. You put your hand on the fire, it burns. You get up and do it again. It burns. You get up and do it again because his memory has been wiped of the experience he had doing the bullshit in the first place. So why do you think brothers go to jail? Boom, 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 boom. Because they got memory wiped. They don't think like it looked quiet outside. The birds were chirping or nobody around. Shoot, ain't nobody watching. Let me do this dirt. Okay, if it's always like that, how you get caught? Now you go to jail, you get out, and you say, damn, it looks quiet outside. Ain't nobody watching. Let me do this. He's not learning to the fact that just because it don't look like nobody see him, somebody always watching. And due to the fact that he's resetting what I call reset under the Godspeed meaning science reset lit or the reset science, the fact that he's resetting every day, and reset brings you back to memory wipe. You got a modem and you keep pushing the reset button, you're never going to be able to get online. And that's what's happening right now. We're never able to get online, meaning we hook up to the constant records or direct connection to God or Goddess, universe, or whatever you want to call it itself. So where your words manifest instantly. Brian, do you want to add on anything to that? While I try to find some more information on our set.
Yes. like one of the histories that was lost, and the giver kind of showed is that telling, of keeping the information to agree on, and that's kind of what rap or even hip hop was a continuation of, is telling that story. And the other thing you touched on is like you said, people are asleep or they're just, they don't write their program, they just follow a program. So the program is out there, like you said, they take all these cues from out in the world, and then that's what they live. Instead of,
so that represents the world being in black and white as they showed it, and he had a slight ability to start seeing color, and the more he wake up and raise in vibrations, the more color he sees.
Yep. And then and then my final point is the circle of karma. People not knowing how to rise above karma. Like that person looking outside, and instead of connecting with the waves of the energy and the way the energy is going, they lower themselves to karma. Karma, we know karma is the constant. That comes around and goes around. But you can ride above the karma. But some people ride that wave with the karma. That's what they would rather do.
Memory wipe, because they're not learning from the last little thing they did, that they would go right back. They come right back to you, and when they see it, they think it just so happened. But see, people don't understand. It happened when you do something good. It happened when you think you're ironing out your P's and Q's. It just ain't gonna happen when you're doing bad. It's gonna say, okay, let me get my life together. I'm a little tired. I'm crying a little bit. I'm trying to look for God, but then that's when the karma kick back, and that's the most painful and the most confused, and that's when it's gonna happen. When you think you're trying to get it, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to get it right or through it, but see, you got to get through that. And once you get through that I'm trying to get my life right, and it keeps shooting you down. I'm trying to do this, and that's that karma coming back, hitting you. Once you put the bulletproof vest on, get through that, then you reset with good karma. You throw good vibes out there. You do anything positive, anything like they say, I'm all my brother's keeper. Do what you want to you as you would do unto your brother. You know what I'm saying? Do unto your brother as you would do to yourself. So that means I'm going to help, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, produce some good karma, so now I can sit back a little bit comfortable. It's like having money in the bank. You know what I'm saying? I know if I'm riding and my tire go flat due to the fact that me helping my fellow brother a month ago, that if it happened to me, even though it's low, I'm going to be cool. So the tire go flat, here comes somebody, Joe, let me help you change the tire. Matter of fact, I got a brand new one, here you go, boom. And we don't believe that because we don't give it time, we don't give ourselves enough time and enough breath to sit back and actually produce that effect. Another thing is like the computer. A lot of people have memories, but these are artificial memories. These are given memories, and they're over time they become loaded in the mind. And if you never clear these memories, you get bogged down, and they call it age or senile. And it's not the fact that you're getting old, but all these memories are giving you gravity because it's heavy, and you never clean out your computer, and they become viruses and junk files, and all type of stuff. All this. What they say, if you want your computer to go fast, give it more memory. Or erase most of the stuff that it's trying to contain. A lot of these memories are unnecessary. Like most bad memories, you can wipe them out. All you have to do is cease to start thinking about them. Before you know it, they don't hold that imprint under the L. Ron Hubbard Act. And if they don't hold that imprint, they don't hold that genetic imprint on your DNA, it don't affect you. And it's going to pass down to the younger generation of these stars, these etheric stars that we got. Slavery was a big enough etheric star. And that's the memory that they always try to keep. And you see when they do memory wipe, they take all good, anything positive, anything. Fred Hampton, you barely know him. Marcus Garvey, you barely know him. Benjamin Banneker, you barely know him. A lot of stuff you barely know, but you know slavery. So we're going to go to slavery, skip all this stuff, boom, 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 and then we're going right to the present time. So that's a memory they're going to let you keep. Other memories are little twinkly memories like Malcolm X. Oh, let's give them that memory. Let's put it in the disguise of as we're commemorating them and we're honoring them. Martin Luther King Drive. Okay, here goes the baby. So who is Martin Luther King? He was a great man. He had to help his people. He did everything for his people. What happened to him? He got killed. Okay, well, who is Malcolm X? He was a great man. He did. What happened to him? He got killed. So these are memories that we're actually giving a child. So as he get older and want to be that great leader, he's going to say, no, but they get killed. So they let us get those little memories, those little side highway memories, and the big memory is the slavery. So you combine that with the killing of Martin Luther King and today's music, and you got a young ass nigga that don't give a fuck unless the shit going on in his own backyard. He kept more about do his drawers and match his socks. Anything you want to add on, Brian?
Well, like what you touched on at first is when you start doing things with intent, you know. And that's really what can change you, because it doesn't matter how much work you get done, it's the intent you put into the work.
Always.
That's the same thing. And that's the same thing. It's helping people. You know, that goes into what Dr. Clark talked about with the Yahshua consciousness that was 3,000-4,000 years old. You know, that you loved your family. You helped without any reward. You just helped because of the love. You know, and that's something they really, you know, have changed that energy. But that's the main thing. And and we had one thing that you were saying that people don't learn to do is also, like, people have attachments and then the memories come from out of nowhere. You know, people have memories that come out of nowhere. And most people don't just say cancel that, just like a computer. If one of your attachments, memories come into your head, just cancel that.
That's it. It's so easy.
And most people don't have that ability. They take that attachment thought as their own thought instead of just canceling it. No.
That's called external forces. Go ahead. That's external forces. That means you are in the moment. You know, it's different from be and be to live in the moment, but it's different with being attached to the moment. Meaning it is, like you say, that memory pop up, and you know it's a beautiful day, and you should let it go, but you can't help yourself. And now here we go. Turn the night out, mess the whole day up, police involved. Now you send back the next day, why did I do it? But like you say, all you do is blank it out your mind, because they will give you a reality that's not real. And based off your blood type, your memories, and whatever the artificial memories they gave you, you're going to respond to the situation. And a lot of times it's just an illusion.
Oh, indeed. And another name to add to your list was in Chicago was Noble Drew Ali. We don't know very much about him, but we know he was murdered.
Right. And them brothers was powerful, and they own land and talk Caucasians. But how do we rarely hear about them? See how they wiping that memory out? If you ask one of these new guys today, the retro brothers, who is these brothers? He look at you like you crazy. That they done transfer, they done wipe the memory out that this is a new being. These little brothers right now are new beings. They're not really even connected 5 years past, not even 10 under that. These are new beings. And a lot of them, they're coming out, they spiritual. And the problem is they don't even know what this is. And if the spiritual in the male, if the spiritual is not checked or contained or put in the proper male perspective, it's a feminine aspect of man. And what happened is a lot of I don't know if these brothers were partly being medicated under the homosexual act, but if not, it's the fact that they're imbalanced. So when they come out super or more spiritual, as in these kids are coming out now, for a male, if you're not careful, it'll get twisted into to a female actually actions or female tendencies. You know what I'm saying? Because now this is where the father really needs to be in the house to check that spiritual side, to bring balance and order to that spiritual side. To let this brother know that, that's a feminine aspect of it. That gives you your charisma, that gives you your style, that gives you your flex, your swag. But at the same time, I'm going to give you your discipline on that swag. And if I don't give you that discipline on that swag, you're going to be swagging a little bit too much. Am I right, Brian?
Oh, yeah, perfectly. I mean, perfectly that you have to have the male and the female energy. I mean, that's when you're talking about balancing your chakras, that's what you're trying to balance. All that. You want, like you said, you want that walk to be just a stern walk. You know, you don't want it to be shaky, as you say. You know, you want it to be stern and strong. But
you know, you want him. Yeah, go ahead. You can
pick up that baby with those same strong arms.
There you
pick
go.
Up that baby and kiss that baby.
Complete. And what he's saying, the opposite of what he's saying is, and I'm gonna give you a picture, is a jock, or what they call a jock. I know y'all seen a lot of these how they portray on TV this football player. He don't really got no charisma. He ain't really funny. He just black and white, like a robot. You know, I got a girlfriend. She like me. I like her. I buy a present on Valentine's Day. I buy a present on what's her name? I buy her a pair of shoes and a bra. He don't get creative in none of that, and that bores a lot of the queens. So that spiritual aspect is he know how that he don't even have to spend money. The jock who's too over male and the lack of spiritual is he figured he has to spend money. The ones who got the spirituality with the control of the father, meaning the control. The male aspect, he can contain it, meaning he can tell her, look, he's gonna give her so like this, instead of spending money, he'll buy a flower, they'll be riding, they'll go by the water, he'll open a book and he'll tell her a story, right, rub her feet. And he knows with the air fresh, because women are sensitive to smell. He got the pine scent going and the water running and the water, the ocean flashing. And he's telling her a story or something he wrote and he's rubbing her feet, she gone. the jock gonna go take her to the movies and buy her expensive meal. She's not gonna remember that. So Brother Street, yeah, and honor your spirituality. It helps you get, they call it, when it go a little bit wrong, it's called a pimp. That's when it go a little bit wrong. But so far, a pimp is when he in his supreme mode. He got mastery over himself, meaning all that ass around it, he cannot touch it, even though it's thrown at him. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the man's weaker points. It's like kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? That's why he got all that power, because he never, fell into the situation. I'm gonna go into the book though. The ninth spirit corresponds to our receptivity to suggestions. Imagine that. Now, shadow walkers like to suggest when you're watching, and all these cold trigger words, these are suggestions, examples, impressions, models, and so on. It is in these faculties to which we learn. In the first 7 years of life, the period of the greatest learning, our receptivity is so great that we indiscriminately imitate most of what we are exposed to. Imagine that. Unfortunately, many people do not transcend this mode of behavior. 85%, will that tell you? It is the influence of this faculty that makes even well-educated adults take up such purposeless and self-destructive behavior as in overindulging in certain drugs, alcohol, eating junk food, and the belief in the host of enslaving social and political myths. So basically what they're saying here is like we were just talking about the movie The Giver. The children. I don't know if you could speculate on that, Brian, how they was bringing the children in, and when the children have showed them that they have grown to their precise language and their motor thing, that they give them a bike. Now you can ride the bike, and the children go, and then the older elders retire. Then the middle age, you see what I'm saying? It's like a college or something. And Tavistock Institute and social engineering is all geared towards understanding the psychology of man. That way, they know in these first years that they can give you images of where it's like a sponge. You're not even discriminating about the things you're looking at, and you're soaking in all these images. And the parents around you, which is supposed to be your fortress, supposed to block most of what you see. And if they do let it come through, be able to explain to you what it is, don't. So now you're soaking it up. And by the boy 17 years old, you never even asked him how you feel about God. So you ask him, who you think God is, and he tell you Santa Claus. And you like, whoa. And all this time, that's why he's been fucked up in the head, tripping and fighting and doing crazy shit, because he always thought God was Santa Claus, and nobody never told him. Brian, anything you want to add on?
Like that was really deep. I mean, I love that, because and Santa Claus is really Krampus. So it's a total total lack of what reality is, and it's not. He doesn't even know himself, but he doesn't even know anybody that knows himself. See, that's the sad part.
That's the sad part, and that's memory white, where he's a new being. Everybody has a culture. We as a black people got to understand our culture been white. Our memory's been white. The Hispanic casually pick up on the lawnmower and certain things he got to do around the house naturally, and he been ingrained in it to where if he work 14, 15, 20 hours a day, he do it with a smile. At least that's in his memory that he became evolved in doing that, where he can master time and sit there all that time and get paid. Brother can't do that. The Chinese, in their way, you don't never see Chinese in jail. You don't never see Chinese locked up. You don't even see them dealing with the police, but they're always smiling and making that bread. In their culture, they're mastered the art of ninja. It's in their DNA, so it's evolved to a way of life where they don't even have to think about it. Who else? Because the European, you see what they do. They practice empathy, no empathy. You know what I'm saying? Robotic mode, how not to give a fuck about your ass and still love their own. And they mastered their craft. But where are we getting our culture? Where are we getting our memories from? Where are we pulling from? I don't see Black Town. I see Chinatown. I see Hispanic land. I see the language. I see Europe, Old Park. I see Euro City. I see, North, but I don't see Black Town. I don't see none of that. So where are we emulating, or do we become absorbed into where everybody else is? And what is that? Are we white man? Are we American? What is that? Where we absorb, where we connecting? Where we got to start from? Where's our point of reference? Where's our memories? A hieroglyphic mind frame, like Brian said, the first time we cared for our fellow man, the weather was much nicer. The oxygen was much richer, all because of our mind thought, our thoughts, the way we greeted each other in the land. That was a memory that we had, and over time, from the 50s or 40s to 60s, it was still there. All of a sudden, it came somewhere between the 60s and 70s that they started mind wiping us, meaning they got a whole new technology. When they started building the computers, they built it with under the mind frame of the mind. They took that same thing, put it in the computer, and said, okay, I can put a virus in here. How can I put one in the mind? You flooded with a whole bunch of disagreeable stuff so much that's not part of the body that it just keep coming in until it duplicates itself. Which they call cancer or anything of that nature. A disease is really a virus that duplicated itself. Many years listening to the same music, watching the same stuff, eating the same food. And what do we eat? You see what I'm saying? We got fast food at home, but how come it's not in the restaurants? If we had a memory, we don't remember Africa because the African brothers and sisters over here don't remember us. So how can we remember anything? And I try to grasp memories when I talk to them, and I can't tell. I'm so far away from it that I can't taste it, I can't feel it, I can't smell Africa when they speak the language and they describe the land because I'm trying to weave and bob like dude in the movie. He's trying to get to that certain boundary points where he can break free through the images that they showed me since I was a baby, which was the little fat brown belly one with all the flies around him. That shit pumped in my head before anybody ever told me that one real. I was 19 years old. So they wiped all the memories and gave me that. And that's the new memory. That's the artificial memory. So as I go from 10, 5, up, flip over to 20, those memories that I have made are all artificial due to the fact that everything I connected to was wiped out and everything was coming from the forward towards me, meaning it's future, a created artificial future for my memories to be my past. Ryan, you got anything you want to add on it? Because this is a segment of how they think hieroglyphs. To that, brother.
Yeah, because exactly what you described happens to a lot of people. I mean, take a dude who hooped in high school and then he don't hoop no more. Where does he get his excitement from? The secondhand memory of watching people hoop.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Where did he get his excitement from? And brothers need to hold on to that basketball feeling, that drawing, the art, that creative side to you. You know, all of us used to play the saxophone and really have that inspiration. What happened? It ain't the fact that we become less motivated due to the fact that we're not motivated. You could say that, but it's actually what we have our guardians have allowed to come into our cycle and penetrate that Joseph, that imagination. You know what I'm saying? Joseph had a coat of many colors. He had a very good imagination, meaning he did his thing with a thing of man that he'll be king. And his brothers like, nigga, goddamn, get off that bullshit, get on your grown man. I'm sitting here on dubs and rims. I got a job paying $90,000 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Get on your grown man. I'm getting mad. I got hoes. I'm doing all this. Get on your grown man. Joseph like, no, I'm building. I'm doing this. I'm going to be king. They're like, no, I threw him in a well. Meaning they threw him in darkness and doubt. But in that darkness, he still remained in his mind that I would be king. And due to the fact that while they kicking it and doing all that extra humping just to be man, just to be, you know, whatever they call the ego, to fulfill the ego, Joseph was laying back in darkness saying, I will be king. So the Good Samaritan finally came back and got him out, picked him up, took him to the land, he became king. So he was in a higher position in life just off the ability to hold a certain thought of God in his mind so long that it manifested. All he did was sit back in darkness, and these brothers are ragged and old and tired and had to look at that and doing all that extra shit. All they had to do was remain the thought that I would be king. Anybody got anything you want to add on before we continue? I might go into the book after that one.
Yeah, let me add on to what you about Joseph, because Joseph's real name, the real person that they based it on was, maybe I'm saying it wrong, but it's Yavi. And Yavi was actually Akhenaten's grandfather.
Come on, talk to me. I didn't know this.
Yeah, the story of Joseph is a real cat that they found his thing in the Semitic line of the Egyptians.
Okay. So why did they use the story, Reed? So what does this story relate to? What does this relate to this? It's back to thinking in hieroglyphs, like what this is about, huh? It's all go back to hieroglyphs, huh?
I mean, if you think of what Akhenaten said is, you know, we believe in the oxen. It wasn't the sun. He's saying that universal power, that universal energy that's flowing. That's what, you know, but, you know, of course, they want to say it wasn't the sun. It was that universal flow.
But the sun is something that if I want to draw it and put it on paper and give you an idea in the hieroglyphic mind frame of what I mean, that'll be perfect to use, right? And that's all it was a symbol. Like it was the all-powerful energy. Okay, I'm not gonna look around. How can I describe that tree? He said, no, that's under the all-power energy. The air, I can't put the arrow in and show nobody else. Damn, that bright glare right there. Damn, that's what gets us up in the morning. That is, I'm gonna use that, put it on this wall, boom, 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 and this is Ra. And Ra is the giver of all life. And when he was telling people around at that time, they knew what it was. Like, okay, that's what we're gonna call God's body, that energy force, that chi. We need that. That's the first thing. Wake up in the morning and pray to, or just give thanks to. Boom. But the people in the field, under the fact that they don't, whatever, just workers or whatever, they said, well, that's God, that's God, that's God, that's God, that's God, that's God. And then everybody knew that, well, you can call it God too, but it ain't, it's God is much bigger than that. But anything you want to add on B?
No, I mean, indeed. I mean, one thing, and two, if you look at what really real fifth dimension is, the air is just something that's blue. And fire is just something that's red. It ain't got no heat. It ain't, it's just something that's red. When you're talking about just pure space, no illusion, just pure space. And you have those kind of real things. It shows itself. It tells you its name.
So what they'll do is take an animal. They'll say, how can I describe fire? I take a jackal. How can I describe air? I just take a hawk. You see what I'm saying? To make the hawk head man, however, how can I, and they use some of those things around them to put them in walls and hieroglyphs. And these hieroglyphs told you a story within itself to where you thought quick, because it was instead of a whole bunch of 450 page book, it was in all image that was already explained to you in throughout your lifetime, like A, B, C, D, D. This means, and you get the four drawn from this image. And you go to the next image, just something like China be right. They got it right in some.
But their writings all add up. See, we speak a language that doesn't add up. I got a young cat that's he's a minister and staying with my family for the summer, and he's studying Hebrew. And Hebrew, almost every symbol adds up, just the symbol by itself. And then when you put the words together, the words add up. And then once again, it's that right to left. Trying to turn that right brain on that right to left type of reading that adds up. And you get English, it doesn't add up. What we're saying doesn't add up. It's a blocking language. It doesn't add up, and that's one reason why they push. They pushed it on us. And so
they push
to stop our spirituality.
And it's doing a good job.
And what did you say about the that movie with Jodie Foster in it? They need to. No, where she went, and talked to the aliens. She went on that roller coaster, remember that? And she said the artist should have went instead of me. Remember you had mentioned that?
Yeah, the artist. We should listen to the poet.
I can't even put this into words.
I can't describe it. We should listen to the poet. Maybe he could have told us. And that's real. And that's real. That's real. The ability to express the unseen thing in a colorful manner, in a way that people can understand it with your imagination. If it's just like he said, the rocket scientist, he was too left brain. He was too 1, 2, 3, 4. He thinking in numbers and ones and zeros. He can't describe it like that. He got to, put it into a computer and see it like that. But the poet can show you or paint a beautiful picture in your mind. And that's how we used to rap. That's what our music used to be like. It give you a picture. Everybody was going through something. The music was feeding everybody that went through something. And then you had to rip a song that pertained to the super ego, meaning I get down, I pick it, I do what I do. And now it's all I do what I do. You got brother. Yes, it's all.
I grew up in the 60s and 70s with love music, and I grew up near Motown. Matter of fact, I knew several of the Motown cats, and love music, and being a young cat that can take that love music and then to do your pimping, to be Iceberg Slim, to say them lines in the right time, in the right mood, and feel those energies, and feel that female energy, and be able to relate to it. Where is that?
Pop-Lock. How the hell did the white boy take over our art of dancing, which was us, Pop-Lock? How did they take over that? How did the Egyptian dancing, which is Pop-Lock, meaning is I'm showing you the ability to move from the unseen to the seen, and I'm showing you how I do it. And when you look at a person Pop-Lock, and that's a hieroglyph in motion, it's like a gift. You see what I'm saying? And it's very powerful. We have been brought down to the fact that we let the Asians do it, and the only Pop-Lock we're going to do it is the twerk. And that's another ancient dance that when you're in the higher self, it wakes you up. It kicks off the chakras, but when you're in the lower self, it makes him horny, and he want to exert himself. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, indeed. It's they called it the dog at one time. You know, the type of movement back long ago was called the dog. And so
you said the dog.
Yeah, they called it the dog, and they banned the dog. And I remember hearing my mom talk about it in the late 50s, early 60s. And then my generation, it turned into the freak and then into the alligator.
Okay, well, what do you see over your time span? I want to do a little time travel in which I want to see a hieroglyph, and I want you to take me to a time of when you seen in your time frames compared to how it looks now. What have you seen just either under mind wipe have they done to us? What have you seen they took out? I know you got a far range than I do.
See that pride, just that pride in self, and with no ego, just be prideful to leave the house. That has changed.
How does that feel? What do you mean? I don't understand. I'm foreign to that. What do you mean pride to leave the house?
Just to wake up in the morning and put yourself together before you face the world. To have that pride in yourself, not just throw on some clothes and go out, but actually put yourself together. And so you face
wait, hold on. But the only way we do that now is we got a lot of money. So did you have a lot of money? You had to have a lot of money to do that, or did you just do that just off actual living?
No. You just what you had, you made work, and you ironed your clothes so you look neat. So if you had 2 pair of jeans or 2 pair of khakis, whatever it was always pressed. So
how did the sister respond to that? Did she look at what type of pants you had on, or did she honor the fact that you was clean? I mean, how did I want to know?
Yeah, that's how the sister related to you. He takes care of himself. He looks pressed. Remember the word?
So it wasn't about the fact that I spent $1,000 on the belt. I could spend about $10 as long as the belt clean and new. I'm decent. Is what you're saying? That was a time like this.
It was a time like that where now it was always exorbitant. You know, it was always that. But I'm just saying the basic brother could holler at somebody just taking care of himself. And be impressive to a female, and not spending all of that. Not saying, the name brand. No, this is just me, but this is how I come to you and your family, because I come to your family with intent, and serious.
So when did you see the shadow walkers come in? Well, I know you seen where Agent Smith came in. What time? What did he do? How did he get us?
Think about what hippies was. I mean, when it changed, what hippies was, where the free love, no respect, no courting, you just come live with me. You just come live in my community. I don't care about your folks. Your folks is anti. So I don't want help from the elders anymore.
That's the hippie mentality. You mean the hippie mentality? They grab their own kids and use them to push over the hippie mentality on us. Is what you saying?
Well, I mean, that was kind of a start of it. I mean, it was a rebellion kind of thing, but if you really looked at the formalness of when people met, that's when it really started to change, was through the hippies. And then, if you really, like, you talking about when the mindlessness started, if you looked at what disco, turned into disco music. Because, disco music, you had songs that was 20, 30 minutes. So 20, 30 minutes of a beat and trigger words. That's what the disco thing was. It was like you ain't have to know nobody, You just went and saw somebody at a club, and like you said, your car, your outfit, chick would go for it. It's a movie. It's a movie where a dude is flashing around his Porsche key.
Okay, so they started with the TV. They started with the media, what I call Decepticon. Okay, exactly. like Dolomite. And what was the other movie that they was what's his name? The one that the other brother, the one that that type of stuff. Okay, and so it's like to us it'll be Boys in the Hood, or it'll be stuff like Boys in the Hood and movies like things of that nature. Okay, so they just kept the program running. They kept wiping out the old us and recreating us since that time, huh? And then but is our president black man matching up to the black man back then? Do it seem like something happened? I know. I mean, is the line connecting, or did they erase something and start scribbling between the lines?
one of the most beautiful things I can remember about my youth is, and you talk about Fred Hampton and all them, and I met Fred as a young boy. I think I was 8 or 9 when I met him. But anyway.
Hey, he was young. And he was young, right? So he was young thinking like that. What happened, JB? What happened to us?
But you know, this connection.
Go ahead.
But there was a connection with us as a people that when you threw it up, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess you could say it in their Black Power, but anywhere you went in the country, you saw a brother and you threw it up to him and he would throw it back. And so you would instantly get that connection with somebody. Or, you know, even like when brothers was like, amongst each other, you could do that head nod with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Well, you telepathically speaking to him. But you telepathically speaking to him. You know, you like, okay, I'm checking you out, brother. We mingling here. You know what I'm saying? That telepathic connection. You know, and that's been severed too. But that was a good time in the country where you could just throw it to a brother and the brother give it back to you. And we don't have that anymore.
And that's left. They fear each other, right?
We fear each other. You know, really.
So they wipe that.
About it. Oh, yeah.
They wipe that and implanted new under the artificial memory, which is Boys in the Hood, Minister Society. That's the artificial. And the good brother, I see how they wiped them out, because the brother that was like, man, we brothers, man, why is we robbing each other? And Kang's like, I don't care about all that, get out the car. Or in 8 Miles, when the brother that was talking that thread line that he still had his memories, they was wiping them. When they said, man, get your butt in the back seat talking all that mindfulness knowledge shit. And every time they show that type of brother, that's what they do to him. Am I right or wrong? They try to do it in belly.
He's ignored. Yeah, the concept is ignored.
That memory wiping in. Okay, artificial memories. That's an artificial memory. He's ignored. So if this being played throughout time, after a while, due to a memory wipe and an artificial memory implanted in you, you're not the same person. Then, am I right or wrong? You're not even the person you're supposed to be. You're like clay.
Yes, indeed. The culture, you know, they changed the culture. You know, they interrupted a culture that once existed. That don't have that together. That don't have that telepathy being around each other. I mean, that's what they attacked. And that's
so. Is this our culture? Is this our culture we witnessing, or is this somebody else's memories we kicking in with?
Yeah, we're running their program. I mean, the majority of us are running their program that they wrote instead of each and every one of us living our own program. They're writing your own program.
False memories, new humans, artificial beings. Let us make man in our own image and likeness. Wow.
Yes, indeed. It's I mean, like you said with the slave movie you mentioned earlier. I mean, why do you think they keep saying that? Why do you think they keep pushing that? And then when they give props to people, it's like entertainment. It's like they made the Jesse Owens movie, they made the Jackie Robinson movie. You see what I'm saying?
Entertainment purposes only. Entertainment purposes only. Okay, this is all entertainment purposes only.
What I call the make me laugh list. You know what I'm saying? Make me laugh list.
And a lot of brothers your age probably, they love those movies. I noticed they love those make me laugh movies, man. Oh yeah, they love those. It's just they don't want to know nothing serious. They just want to finish out their artificial memory, and then I guess go to heaven. You know, however that may be. That's you know, in the heaven that they're really pushing now is more fourth dimension illusional. You know, that's what they're pushing on people. Is you make it to the fourth dimension, and yes, you can have angels all around you, but it ain't gonna last. You might get it for a minute, but it ain't gonna be angels through eternity. So when the brothers try to,
it goes right back to that reincarnation. They're gonna wipe your memory, so you ain't gonna know that past life. All that you work for, they're gonna wipe that memory and put you right back in. And you've seen how the Buddhists do it. They show you peepholes with who you want to go to, because they say babies please their parents. But you know that's the system that we live under. You know they do that to us too. That's a part of mind life, where you know a person can't build on. You know, like if you live 1,000 years, all you remember. You know what I'm saying? Even if they had to break it up, you still would remember this 1,000 years and how to go through things. But no, that's what I'm. That's Godspeed. That's what I'm realizing. The ability that I have is the fact that I have become intact with a lot of my memories through times and eons and lives and lives. That's why I'm able to talk. The type of stuff I say might seem like it's Stargate, but it's the fact that I have experienced this. I have felt that I have been a reality,
and it's connected, and but it's all formulated into today's time, meaning the present. So it's just like the Auset records. It's very powerful information, thing to have in your mind. I don't really read books anymore. I have become the book. I have practiced the ways to see what this is really about. Like I don't eat. I did that to see if I can master mind over matter. Yeah, I did it. So I practiced something else. The feminine aspect, like Kanye West say, I cannot be faithful in a room full of hoes. It must be the Pharisees in tune with my soul. And that's one of the last parts of initiation is the fact that can the man, he go through all them trials and the Indiana Jones lick in the pyramid, all these trials and tribulations, which in reality mean life. And if he make it through that, around the age 35, 40 years initiation, he get a female. And if he touch a booty, they do all that, they cut his head off. Meaning it's Joe, after all that, you fall to sensuality, no matter how much memory you got, you still going to lose. So that's the first thing they say in Behold the Pale Horseman there, and anoint that king, the king of Israel, or that king that who they call whoever going to be, he must not fall to sensuality, or he become delusional and confused in mind under the what they call that dude Bill Clinton Act. You know what I'm saying? That's just a slight example of it, the Bill Clinton Act. And that's one of the things they don't play. They keep the chiefs and the elders, the Medici Jack 12 elders that's on the spaceship looking down, or however you want to call it. They don't play that. The initiation not fall to the lower nature like that under the Sex Act, because it confuses the mind. You should still display love, but it should not control them. And tonight's show is brought to you by GodspeedMe.com. If you haven't signed up, sign up. It's GodspeedMe.com, and a lot of this is built off ancient hieroglyphic thinking, how they're thinking hieroglyphs, and mostly based off the metal nexus, because it's the far as I know I can go back, and that's still intact, that I can at least get an understanding. I tried and tested most things, but this is the one that actually works. And I got my memory back. And I always have my memory. It was faint memories of things that I never knew. It's like a dream you had. You keep going to the same place in your dream. That was an actual place you used to be. You got, how the fuck do I know how to construct the same place in my dream? And I keep going to the same place. You have memories. Like flying, you have memories of the time you used to fly. But you can fly good as hell in your dreams, so that means you really think you're flying and you actually feel how to do it in the world. But, memories ain't strong enough. The more memories you get of your connection to your past, the lighter you get in vibration. I mean, the things you've been through, they always say you got to go through hell and get to heaven. So if you have a compile of memories, not artificial memories, but actually memories based off experiences and lessons in life that's transcend eons and eons of time, believe me, the present person will be somebody supreme. He got to be. You know what I'm saying? You can't fall. You ain't falling for these okie dokes. You put your hand in a fire. You ain't got to do it. You can look at it, feel the heat when you touch it, and say, okay, I know that's hot. Instead of actually put my hand in there, the burning person, then say, I know that's hot. You get past a lot of bullshit, save a lot of money, and you keep a lot of friends, and then your family's intact. You know what I'm saying? So what they're doing to us now, brothers and sisters, is mind wipe. You see a lot of these videos, the way we act and the way we fight each other, the way we're killing each other, making Facebook videos and blow his head off. This is mind wipe. Because 10, 14, 20 years from now, we can never see ourselves doing this. So basically, that's telling us there's some scribble in between our time dynamic, meaning the end and now. Some ain't right, some ain't add up. It's like a turtle. A turtle over time starts going to land more often. He's going to start evolving to a land animal. How the hell we going to land and still devolve into a water animal? That mathematics ain't adding up. The science ain't adding up. And there's something is wrong with us. I ain't going to sit here and lie and say, ain't nothing wrong with us. We have been over-feminized, and we are not soldiers or brothers that sisters really even living for a cause. Just based off every day, don't happen in my backyard. I'm cool. And pretty soon, well, I ain't going to say pretty soon. Right now, they know 20, 30 years now they thought about it, but now they know we ain't going to do nothing. So imagine the bullshit they're going to pull on us now without nobody saying nothing. The first you want to kill somebody that demonize them, all you have to do is make them look like a villain. Look at the media. I would look like a villain. So when the police blow our head off, you want the Robinsons or the Rockstar jeans. I need $50 for 2 pairs, and that's still kicking, and you still move on. It's fucked up that every man is for himself in the black race. And I speak about the black race because we fucked up. And if anybody always talking about black power, or why you brothers always talking about black this, black that, the fact that I am black and I was born black for a reason. I had this voice. And if I don't speak up for my people or the situation we in, who else is? Are we supposed to just live like this? Are we supposed to know shit that y'all can't know or don't know and don't understand under the Mankind Act and just push it to the side because it's not in the book, or we're not getting it out of the news under the paradism that it don't come from a white man that it ain't true? Hell no, we're going to flex these memories we got. Because it's starting to make sense to me. At first when I said people like, yo, Bo, the hell you talking about? Now they're starting to see it, but it's 10 years later. My mind span is so fast that in order to keep up with me, you have to literally remember the little things I say. And Brian, that's something very beautiful you displayed to me, that you remember that poet stuff. You actually remember. So a lot of things I say, I can imagine what you see. I can imagine because you actually remember. And that's a hard thing to do. That's why I record these things, because from here to now, everything I said would be the came to pass, but you could be to forget because they just made the new retro Jordans that glow in the dark. They wipe your hell out your memories with little trinkets of Gucci belts, glow in the dark, on Soldier Boy shoes, and concerts live. And they say to man, you're not thinking about nothing else but that's kicking. And then they keep this pumping every day. So every day I'm waking up, that's kicking. And so you know your shorty thinks Santa Claus is God. Brian, anything else you want to add on?
Well, it's like how they fool us is, you know, people don't even know what real abundance is. You know, they just, and then they call luck. They call high frequency luck. And you know, these are things that people have to be taught to connect with. You know, I mean, it's easy to do, but like you said, there's so many blocks and so much going on. But, you know, I say turn the TVs off. You know, listen to old love music, because love is the second highest energy under enlightenment, is love. And so, you know, get back to where, you know, you have that love in your heart. You know, love and intent. That's the two biggest things, is love and intent. You know, and just say every day, you know, go about what you go about with love and intention. That's it, you know. That starts to get you into the knowing that you have that love and you have intent of what you're doing. Or you can, you know, or purpose. But even I say intent is even deeper than purpose. And so
so how you solve a lot of that riffraff, brothers or sisters, if you really do have a good heart, but you know, a shadow walkers out there trying to tamper your reality, and Agent Smith trying to mess with your reality, or what the Christians call Satan, or what the Islam call the whispering jinn, and you can't really explain it. Just tell your partner, you know what I'm saying, that things happening beyond my control. I wake up every day and my intention is to do good for me and my family and to wish them well and make sure they're the happiest they can ever be. So if everything come up in our reality that look funny or shaky, and it ain't what it is. So long as you know that's my intention when I wake up, all this extra shit is bullshit. That'll save a lot of argument. Because trust me, brothers and sisters, when you're spiritual, there is forces that's always been fucking with you. But now that you woke, they know you ready to box. And sometimes they get so bored they want to play with you. They want to box. They want to really spar with you. That's basically what it is. Because if you make it past them, make it through them, then you get stronger. Basically, they become sparring things. So still shit happen for a reason. And don't think being woke is a bad thing. It just means you have the ability to get a grasp on these social forces that was leading your ass in life instead of you leading your own self in life. That's all that means. And they come in at your throat because they get trophies. Shadow walkers get trophies for putting you back to sleep. This is what I call dark beings, dark entities. You know what I'm saying? And they have manifested enough energy in our reality that they are entities. They do got personalities. You know, it's one with an old ass Celtic coach from a nigga. He got killed in 1987 or 1990, a starter coach, and he got on goddamn gold bracelets from niggas in the 70s and 50s and shit. He got a crown or a 150 hat on from a nigga 2015. This is how they get down in their world. It's chemtrail to death. It's gray. It look like Europe, and everything is out of place. You know, you got this, that, and they all like goons. You know, if you ever seen Death Note, that's what it looked like. The Gumagashi is the shadow walker. That's exactly what it looked like. When the Gumagashi walked up on Death Note or whatever, the dude that was writing the scribe, the ability of Tahachi, the scribe, to write his life into existence or to actually write the knowledge on paper, which was the Death Note, the book. They didn't fuck with it. And Gumagashi or the shadow walker, like, they look at me and they're like, nigga, you see me, but you're not scared. And they find that quite amazing. And they used to love apples. It's funny, they walk around, they love green apples because they know green apples is really quickly like drinking alkaline water. It really hydrates you. If you eat a green apple in the morning, all that pus and mucus is going to come right out of you real quick. Boom. But if you don't really get the alkaline of that green apple, it builds up over time. And then before you know it, look at it, and then you got a cold because it's not pumping out of you. Try green apple when you wake up. Let it sit under your tongue. Bite it. Let the juice sit under your tongue for 10 seconds. That means under your tongue is talking to your bloodstream. It's going to clean you out quick. So 3 minutes. You don't even need coffee. That ain't coffee, you're going to be too wide. But just a green apple, Granny Smith, oh my God, on chain. So I say that to say, man, that these are beings out here, and they coming at you when you woke. They test you. It's a roller coaster. You're going to ride this ride, and you're going to give up. The worst thing you can do is give up. I'm going to tell you that now. The worst thing you can do is try to put yourself back to sleep. Like Auset told us in the movie Matrix. He said, look, you had a cipher. He said, Joe, I want to go back to sleep, make my steak juicy, and make me somebody famous, which was Ronald Reagan. You know what I'm saying? But usually you find brothers famous. And a lot of these brothers don't look happy. And you're like, damn, all that money, all this, all that, there's something they missing. Matter of fact, they're missing their soul. How do you describe to a brother that I'm missing a soul? There's something about you ain't there no more. You can't feel. You become like equilibrium. And I know going back to the movie we were just talking about, The Giver, you remember how they had to take the vaccines and he put the apple, why did he have a green apple, Brian? They always keep the apple there. And he put the apple on top of the medicine, meaning if you eat the apple, the green apple every day, you ain't got this medicine and stuff they pumping in, you're going to come right out. So he put the apple over the injection to make it seem like he took the injection. And what the injection do was to block their emotions, their actually instincts. So now we go back to equilibrium, same thing. They pump that stuff in on to block the motion, which is AKA instinct, the instinct of the black man to be able to move in synchronicity of the earth under the Indian style. We taught the Indians. The Indians, you know what I'm saying? We taught everything to Kung Fu. All of this is ours, but we give it up to them like it's theirs and then just sit back and wear Gucci belts.
We were the Indians too. Remember that? We were the Indians.
We were the Indians. There you go. We were the Indians. Yeah. Yeah, so we are connected to the earth. We are connected. This is our land. The earth is our land. We just acting like, brothers don't need a block. Brothers don't need a block. And it's the block mentality. Like I say, a lot of these brothers out here, you can still make this gangster music, but we still need an influx of other type of music to balance that out. And have y'all noticed, you only get one Kendrick Lamar, one Common Sense, one Lupe Fiasco. You're not getting 3 or 4 on pumping on the radio. You're only going to let one go on through. And Kendrick Lamar, I know he on his way out. That's why he bought that little ass house. He wants stupid. He said, hell no. When they kick me out and they get the new conscious nigga, I'm going to be paid for my house and I'm going to stack all this money and I can live comfortably. He wants stupid. Anything you want to add on, B, before I go? I don't mean to keep going like that, but I'm feeling
No, that's just beautiful. It's just, raise your frequency. Change your vibration. Do whatever you can to make your house where when you walking towards your house, you hear that ring in your ear. That your house is accepting you. That's how you want your house to be. When you get near your house, you want to hear that ringing because what you created in there, no one can penetrate that. That's high frequency. Raise your vibration so you can connect to the frequency you desire. Know what true abundance is. What real abundance is. Not just fake stuff, not the Jordans. That's that abundance. Real abundance. Know what it is, how to connect to it. And then, write your own program. I wrote you that. Write your program. Write everything you want to happen, and then you make it happen. Now, there's going to be glitches, but you even deal with the glitches. You cancel that out. Cancel that out.
Respect. A lot of brothers don't respect. They'll make these accusations. They'll make these confirmations. Then they go out the next day, forget all about the confirmation. Confirmation come right back to them. They ain't even people. That's what I witnessed that. That's 99% of what's going on with brothers. When they are spiritual and they say, I'm going to do everything you said, B. And the next thing you know, they do everything they said. And then they move and they weave and they don't expect it. They got it through all the bombarded of memory swipe and memory skip that the CD ain't playing, so you can barely see the DVD. So all of a sudden, the blessing that came through, the Ephraim worked it right to his hand, and he said, yeah, I got this for you. Just give me this for it. And you looking like, what the hell am I going to do with that? And you didn't even know that was the key to give it to old boy to get what you really wanted. You never even peeked it because you see what I'm saying? You're too caught up in the moment of external force. Expect when you create, like you say, write it down, you go out there and expect it, you start looking for it. Don't forget. Memory wipe. Don't let them wipe your memory. Don't let them reset you. If you, like Malachi York said, if you never give up, that what you wish to accomplish will come into existence. It's inedible if you never give up on it. But the greater it is, the more harder it is to become from a baby to a grown man growing pains. You know what I'm talking about? Like when a woman have a baby, that's how I feel when a man or a woman trying to create something from nothing. Growing pains. Most people, the woman's gonna push the baby out. I ain't never seen a woman say, hold on, put the baby back. I don't want it no more. Shit, that motherfucker coming out, we gonna get it back. It's by law. by law. You can't put yourself back to sleep. You can't, man. You can't put yourself back to sleep. And they say, Poe, or they might say, Brian, they might say, Poe, why y'all do this? You know, there's other things out there. You know, why are you talking spiritual? You know, you want money, you want what the fuck? You know, because everything got to be done for a reason. But when you do practice, like he said, walk the walk, talk the talk, God take the universe, take the taste out your mouth for all that low and indicative shit, and you do it from the kindness of your heart and the supreme love, you know you protect it. You know you can see the unseen thing. You've seen the angels work for you, and you have listened, and you become I am, because you know you have been through, kept the memories of all the things necessary. Let me tell you something about the death and resurrection. Before I became resurrected into this mode, I was Sahu/Mason, and it was things I used to do and shit I used to get into. But due to over time, once I resurrected, you lose memory, you lose connections. You only keep certain memories that are necessary for your next path, for your next journey in this higher vibration. Only other things, people that know me that I don't even know no more, is people that see me like, what up, for a whole conversation from me. Because I can't connect with the memory or the physical memory, which gives me the feeling to know who this nigga is. I can't really talk to him because I don't really know him. He was part of a whole lower self construct. And that I have raised from that, I don't know these brothers a lot. I don't really know a lot of these motherfuckers, and they look at me like they're seeing a ghost because of the fact that they thought through all the shit I've been through, I've been dead or locked up, and I don't look scarred. Meaning is I have been frozen in time. Once you start on your path, frozen in time. Meaning is I am mummified. And if anything, no external bullet wounds, no internal wounds, nothing, because I haven't let nothing come in forth. I haven't let life bullshit ravage. Meaning is I got the bulletproof vest on all the time. And all the bullshit is the bullets that come in, they bounce right off. It doesn't go into my soul, which fucks me up. That's a lot of brothers I know y'all have been with look fucked up. That's because the external forces took. Always connected, always moving, always on automatic response. So I say that to say this: it is real. It's real. God body is real. I mean, I got stories. Y'all know I got stories. You know, and I tell the stories, and they wild as hell because the more you don't believe me, the more I know the Father and the universe is real. Because this is some unbelievable shit. Walk up, you know, put your gun down, escort a nigga, you know, things of that nature. It's just wild stuff. And I've been through it, so that's why I know I'm protected. The reason I'm protected maybe is because I have a purpose. I gave myself a purpose, which means that I have become a call. The call is to try to raise the vibrations of the brothers and sisters that's looking, because there's a lot of brothers and sisters that's out here growing up in this essence, in this nature, but they have nothing to connect to. And what happens is they get angry as hell because you got this good heart, but these niggas killing you. Pounding you with this dumb shit, pounding you with this evil shit, pounding you with this selfish shit. You trying to fight it with them. And it's like, fuck it, you give in. And what they do is they play these games under the Tavis Institute of Social Engineering. These niggas get deep into your life. That's what they call these jizzles. They get deep into your life, so where they play games in the school. They say, you see that ignorant little motherfucker over there? You see that ignorant little broad over there? We're going to give them daddy extra money, give them more clothes, make them more popular. And you see these brothers over here who kind of only watch and kind of make them less popular. I know these two kids finding their way. They're looking for God. I heard them speaking very spiritual. So what we going to do is, I know they're trying to find their way. So while they're looking around at their peers, it seems like the ignorant motherfuckers coming up. So what do? All the love is coming out of my heart because this nigga that's talking this shit out of his mouth got the girl I like. So all of a sudden I feel like I got to be like this nigga. But damn, it's rough because I'm killing my soul. But fucking, I'm going to steal. I'm killing my soul. Fuck it, I'm gonna smack this nigga. I'm killing my soul. Fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know, when I'm 14, I'm like, what happened to you, boy? You used to be so innocent and happy. Because I ain't had nothing to connect to. If I had God body or any nigga talking to me like I'm talking to myself right now back then, oh my God. And that's what they don't want to happen, but they can't stop it because it's time. Satan time is up. What is it, Brian? 6,000 years or some shit like that. Lower vibration energy. New York ain't winning no favor love no more. That ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? All that shit finna go out the door. That shit ain't gonna be too cool no more. And what the Illuminati trying to do is gravitate onto what's more real. KRS-One. That's more real. And they starting to notice that the shit that's real is gonna start selling. So now they finna pump it back just off the fat in their pocket. They finna bring the God bodies back up. All bad work for the good. Like I said, the thinking hieroglyphs. Brian, I'm gonna let you take it out, B.
Everyone is just love to you, and like you said, it's just being selfless about trying to share this information, trying to change everybody, or help everybody to become in the know, to see what it really is, that how this works, and how to learn from it, and how to raise your vibration, to connect with the frequency. That's it. I mean, that's every day should be your goal. Is to connect with others. And frequencies change. You see the waves. To be able to connect the way the flows go, the ease and the flows go. Connect with that. And so with that said, brother, thank you so much.